Peace, family. Chauncey, aka your Karima, great man of God Media, back at you again with a great announcement. First of all, I just want to introduce to you a new segment that I have right now, which is called the GMOGmedia Spotlight, where I'm going to be talking about certain topics that affect us, meaning quote unquote African Americans as a whole, and things that we can do to help get ourselves out of the situation. Okay. So with this topic here, I'm going to be talking about a report that came out in 1967. Okay. This report, which is called the National Advisory Commission on Civil Disorders. And this was commissioned by the president at the time, President Lyndon B. Johnson. All right. This was to investigate the causes of the 1967 race riots in the United States. Okay. So President Lyndon B. Johnson commissioned 11 members, which included one NAACP member, okay, by the name of Roy Wilkins. He wanted to establish this report to find out three major areas: the what, the why, and the how. Right? Meaning, why are these riots happening? What's causing these riots or these uprisings to happen? How can we fix or resolve the problem? Right. So let me quote to you the basic premise of the results of that report. Right. So the basic premise of the result of that report, and I quote, "Our nation is moving toward two societies, one black, one white, separate and unequal." Okay. Those were the basic findings of the report. Right. And this was done not by President Lyndon B. Johnson, but he commissioned 11 independent people within the time within his political structure to do these reports. All right. So they also found out that the causes of the riots and the uprisings and things of that nature were due to white racism. Okay, these are on the reports. Due to white racism, okay, due to subjugation of jobs, economic deprivation, things of that nature. These are all on the report. Okay, so now you fast forward 30 years later on the anniversary of that report. Okay, there was a follow-up report which was sponsored by the Eisenhower Foundation. Okay, and there were two complementary reports that were done, one called the Millennium Breach and one called Locked in the Poorhouse. Okay, the Millennium Breach was co-authored by Senator and Commissioner member Fred R. Harris, found the racial divide had grown to the subsequent years with inner city unemployment and crisis levels. All right, so on the report, Fred R. Harris said the following, and I quote, "Today, 30 years later," which is 1997 at the time, "Today, 30 years later, after the Kerner report, there is more poverty in America. It is deeper, blacker, browner than before, and it is more concentrated, which have become America's poorhouses." End quote. So what does that mean, Chauncey? Why are you bringing this up? Why are you talking about something that happened in 1967 and a follow-up report that happened 30 years later? Well, this is a great contrast to what's happening today. We're stuck in a perpetual loop of a system of injustice. The system of injustice which produces racism, which is white supremacy. Okay. Those are just raw facts. So you say, okay, Brother Chauncey, I mean, we have a black president. How can you have racism when you have a black president? Well, very simple. You have a black president because he is in a position where he's controlled by outside forces. Those are just raw facts. President Barack Obama or any black person in a quote unquote high position in the political structure, which is, state senator or mayor or state attorney, and they're classified as black or non-white. And those positions are controlled by outside forces. What are those outside forces? Those outside forces are white people, okay? And whenever you're controlled by, that's who you answer to. If you're controlled by a certain person or a certain group of people, that's who you answer to. If you notice, President Obama, within his 2-year term of president, he has never addressed black issues at all. And during the time he actually addressed the issue with Ferguson in Baltimore, he came up with no solutions, but just wanted to point blame and wanted to mitigate the issue by making sure more law enforcement is involved to stop the uprising within these communities. So the contrast between 1967 and 2015, exactly the same, except right now in 2015, we're in worse condition than we were back in 1967. Okay, so people who talk about the logic of, yeah, you have a black president, you have these black people in high, positions. Well, guess what? They're controlled by the European counterparts. They're controlled by white people. So those are basically controlled puppet master positions. All right. So I wanted to just bring that to the forefront. Okay. Now, the solution to this is, in my opinion, how do you replace the system of injustice with the system of justice, right? Or a system of racism, which is white supremacy. How do you replace that? You replace it with the system of justice, right? What do you do by replacing something that is so unjustly with the system of justice? Well, the first thing you have to do, in my opinion, is start a code system or a codification system. What exactly is a codification system? Basically, it is a list of things you do and a list of things you don't do. For example, my son, who's 6 years old, I'm getting ready to sign him up for a Pee Wee football league. Okay, so I'm going through documentation of the Pee Wee football league, and I see a document within the Pee Wee football league as far as things you have to look out for. They have a page called a code of conduct system for the league. Basically, a list of rules, a list of regulations of things you do and the things you don't do within their league construct. Okay. So black people as a whole, we don't have a codification system or a code of conduct system listing things you do and the things you don't do. Right. So in my opinion, like, for example, if we are reacting towards something that was unjustly, such as the killing of an unarmed black male, right? You react to that by burning down inanimate objects, buildings. I would establish a code of conduct system by saying, don't react to an unjust system by burning down buildings. That'll be on my list of things you don't do. That's an example, right? So you can establish a code of conduct system, and you can get really detailed with it by, going into full detail with each category that you would like to basically start off with. Shout out to Brother Neely Fuller. Within his book that he has, there is a list of systems or a list of categories that you can follow, a list of code systems or codification systems that you can follow that you can branch out and practice. And this results into constructive results, right? Because also what you want to do is you want to make sure that these codification systems are either constructive or non-constructive. So you want to make sure you have a system that has constructive results. Okay. So I just wanted to bring this to light because we're still stuck in a perpetual loop. You know, whether you believe it or not, those are raw facts. We're still stuck in a perpetual loop of racism, which is systematic white supremacy. Those are just raw facts. Okay, it'll continue to happen until it is replaced with the system of justice. And I just laid down to you the foundation of what you can do to get started by making sure you replace the system of racism, which is white supremacy, with the system of justice. All right, family. So once again, I'll be doing these GMOGmedia spotlights, attacking different categories that affect us as a whole, and I'll be just, making my opinions on them and things you can do to resolve the situation and move forward. All right, family. So I look forward to bringing you more information that would enlighten you and empower you also, and more videos while I'm out in the field coming soon. Be on the lookout for that as well. All right, family. So once again, it's Shanti, aka Ukarima, GMOGmedia, signing out. Make sure you subscribe also, GMOGmedia TV on YouTube, and be on the lookout for more information. All right, family. Peace.